Okay, polishing. I've gone and bought myself the DAS6 Pro. Let's take a look and see what we get in the bag. DAS6 Pro. Let's have a look. What do you get in the bag? Hard wearing bag. I think it's waterproof as well. Pretty cool. Right, a couple of pads. DAS6 finishing, DAS6 cutting. Can immediately feel the difference in these two pads. This is quite spongy and this one not so much. Nice to tell you what's what though. I'll leave a link in the description below for this kit I've bought. If you fancy one yourself. Assuming it's good. I believe this is a good one. Two pads. Instruction manuals. I'll have a read of that for sure. Right, we've got some hardware here. A handle for the top of the polisher machine. All these brushes, replacement brushes, a few bits of tools. Nice strap to turn it into a handbag. Three-inch backing plate. So I guess on the polisher you can change the backing plate for a little one with more detail, I guess. Very cool. You don't get the 3-inch pads though. Right, now for the main article, DAS6 Pro. On-off switch. There's definitely a throw on there. Not a massive one, but there's a throw. Dual action polisher. (9mm) orbit. Okay. So that's the pad. Hook and loop style fixing. And on the back you get numbers. So this varies your speed that it's doing it. Again, I'm going to have a read up and work out what you do. Tidy. So there we go. That's your kit. The DAS6 Pro. As I said, I'll leave a link in the description of this kit that I've bought. Also, if you've got any recommendations on videos I should watch, feel free to post them up. And after the video, feel free to put laughing emojis if I completely fail and go wrong. Appreciate it. Okie dokie, so this is the products I'm going for. So because the van's been sat overnight, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over the panel with a quick detailer just to remove anything that's settled on overnight. And also I'm going to be using this Meguiars Ultimate Compound for my cutting. So we'll see how that works out. Apparently this is kind of like a two-step product. It's kind of a cutting and a polish, I believe. And then what we'll do when we're finished is go in with Auto Glim's Rapid Aqua Wax. This is what I'm going for. Let me know what your choices are. Let me know what's the good stuff out there. And because I want to do the BMW and I want to do the motorhome too. So yeah, let me know down below. Alright, let's get to it. So when we're setting up the kit, ready to go do some polishing. I also forgot to mention that you do get a really long power lead with this also, so that's going to help you move around the vehicle. So first up was to wash the vehicle, get it nice and clean, and remove any deposits that are on the paint. How good does it look wet, eh? You can see straight away, drying out, back to how it was. Let's see what we can do with the polish. So on with the drying towel. So after looking about, it's recommended you put about 5 pea-sized blobs of your cutting compound onto your polishing pad. And now we're on to my first go at cutting and polishing. I'm laying out the product onto the surface in a square there, and then I want to be able to move that product around onto the area that I do want to polish first on a number 1 speed, and then increase it once I've got the polish moved. Time to crack on with some time lapse. Sit back and enjoy. So far so good. Look at the reflection in the bonnet. That's mad. Down this wing. Now we're going to tackle this door. And so, in this door, you can see we've got a nice big scratch. It's through the paint. I don't expect it to be saved. Going with the whole sort of polished patina look we're thinking anyway with the van, I will end up probably sanding all this out and then going in with some blue, with some silver, just to make it look a little bit more in keeping with what I'm going for. But let's see how we tackle this and see if the results come up good. So the idea is to try and do cross hatch movements, going left to right, then up and down on your area that you're trying to polish. And what I'm also doing is applying a bit more pressure to the pad than just letting it sit onto the panel. It's kind of a bit easier on a bonnet because you're just adding a bit of extra weight, whereas doing it on the side of a van, you had to make sure that you're applying the same pressure all the way through the job. So that's a technique that you probably get better with over time. I think what we've done so far is really good. I'm pleased with it. You know, I can actually see a reflection through the paint, which I wasn't being able to do ever before. So I feel that what we're doing is right. What we are going to do today is get the rest of the van done, you know, and then I'll report back with the findings again. But certainly so far so good. The Meguiars Compound isn't a heavy cut. I feel like you can actually mop a lot longer with it than you probably would with a heavier cutting compound. But as I say, so far so good. I've not burnt through any paint. It's all a learning game, you know. The idea of this is for me to get to the point where I can mop Emma's BMW, get that back to a nice shine, and also mop the motorhome because that desperately needs it. But my work van, great place to start. Certainly would not be afraid of using this. Certainly would recommend that this is a good product that's available at a fairly reasonable price for beginners. So yeah, as I said, I'll leave a link in the description below for this. Anyway, enough waffling, let's go. I suppose it's like anything. The more that you do it, the more confidence you get, and then you worry about it less. Okay, I think I'm done with the polishing. We're not going to SEMA tomorrow. We're not doing ultimate dubs. This is just me, who's never done it before. Don't really know what he's doing. Watched a few videos, seen a few tricks, had a go. That's all I can offer you. Don't take it as an instruction on how to do it. Let's go and have a look. What a difference that is. From that non-reflecting paint that we had, we are now almost gleaming. plenty of work to do still though. We've got a lot of damage and imperfections, as we can see here, scratches and marks. These are all going to get attacked with a sander, and then we're going to end up with this look all over the van. But for a first go, and for someone who doesn't know what they're doing, she has come up lovely. As I say, these marks, this big scratch here, it's all going to get hit. But this gives us a nice base now to be able to finish the van off exactly how I want it. I'm so pleased with the outcome. That dull, dead paint has been lifted, and we now have a respectable kind of paint job going on. Proper chuffed. Well, there we go. Paintwork buffed up lovely. Absolute transformation to what we saw from the first video of this series. You know, the paint was absolutely dead and it's come out a treat. Obviously we've got all those imperfections now that I need to attack with the sander, as I said in the previous clip. But using the machine polisher, I never really had any worries with it. And burning through paint or what have you. It might be the Meguiars Compound itself being quite a light cut, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend I know. But all I would say is have a go yourself. You know, trial and error at the end of the day. I went with it, I risked it. I wanted to do it on my own van first before we attacked the motorhome in the BMW. So I'm really pleased with how it's worked out. A couple of things to note: you get through the pads. I would recommend probably having at least 4 or 5 pads per vehicle. You know, you do seem to get through the pads. Also, having those smaller 3-inch pads would certainly help with some of the tighter areas on the van. So something else to think about, and something I definitely will be getting. But yeah, as I say, super chuffed with it. You know, I appreciate all your support. I appreciate the thumbs up. I appreciate subscribing. And we'll catch you on the next video. Cheers.